So welcome everybody. My name is Roberta Robbins and welcome the Cosmic Earth Weavers. You guys are getting this live streamed as you always do with Nancy and I. And I have my lovely friend, Nancy Reed, with me again. And this is a habit. This is like at least the fourth time that we have come together to collaborate to offer a monthly forecast, the energetics, what we're seeing, especially with astrology, numerology, divine messages that are dropping in, the connections that are weaving through them both, and also sacred cycles. And I get really excited about that. And we have some really fun ones, like ones that make me so giddy, witchy giddy. So we are going to be talking about this. So welcome wherever you find us. If you're here on a replay on one of the other social media channels or here in the community, if you're here in the community, say hi to us. So Nancy, hi, how are you doing today?
I'm really good. It is a beautiful day here. It started off totally foggy and love that. Like it was, such good fog. And then, but from the drive from here to my kids' school, always happens this time of year, we drive out of the fog, but it's like so beautiful. And then by the time we get to their school, it's this beautiful sunny day. But it was just like, so I'm like, it felt very wonderful way to start the morning. And then we had an amazing truth and reconciliation ceremony at their school this morning, which is very important. So it just feels like the day has started off really well. And now I get to be here with you.
Super excited. Like I said, was a little bit of a change in our schedule, but it divinely perfect to be doing our forecast a little bit more early than we do. And hopefully this will be helpful for everybody. And we have a busy time, like there's lots of activities, right? And like even for you today out in BC, you've had a full day, beautiful day. It's beautiful here in Ontario. So Nancy's in BC. I'm in Ontario. I'm a couple hours north of Toronto in the Georgian Bay, Blue Mountains area. And we have another blue sky day. Bring it on. Like bring on beautiful, crisp, it's cooler, so a little more crisp, but those colors are starting to change. And you got to love it when you get the blue drop of the sky behind everything. It just makes everything pop more. So we're happy to be here with you guys. And you said today is also the full moon in Aries day. How you feeling? Nancy, how are you feeling with this moon? Have you been noticing it as it's been building? Because the day it peaks its full illumination just before 6 p.m. our time here. So just before 3 for your time.
So I feel this week leading up to it, really felt it was like, what is happening? Like our whole family wasn't sleeping, which is not normal for us. We're good sleepers. We were like, what is going on? And we're just, okay, just roll with it. Yesterday was just like, whew. But then when I woke up today, I did feel this shift already. And I get that we haven't passed it yet, but it was almost like this acceptance almost of like, okay, that's how we were feeling. And now we get to just be with that and move forward. I'm really excited. I love this Aries energy. I did a reading for a boy last night who's Aries, and he's an 11-year-old boy and he wanted his own astrology reading. It was amazing, but just really relating back that fiery, go-getting, starting something new energy, and then paired with the full moon of it, and almost felt like this full permission to just be like, full on show up as who you are, no matter what sign you are. But it just feels like this real permission today is what I'm feeling. So
it does. It's a moon, because we think of Aries, right? I mean, it's the first sign of the zodiac. It's finding who you are and being that, right? It's the I am. And it's that big, beautiful illumination with so many other things that are going on. So I love that you just did a reading for, especially you said a boy. So I'm guessing a younger, not an adult.
No, he's 11.
Right, 11. Great to support and illuminate that. And I love how you said give permission, because it's interesting, because I was on a call with a lady who does numerology and astrology here over in Ontario, and that had just met, and we were having a little chat, get to know each other the other day, talking about our own charts. And I am an Aries moon. And so, I'm feeling that in a different way, illumination, empowerment. And it's interesting, when she was looking quickly at my chart and with the Aries moon, she's like, Oh yeah, it's important for you to like own and just step into like the recognition, because my Aries is in my 10th house too, with like career and purpose and that. And I'm like, it was like hearing that from someone in that way somehow. I mean, it was like the permission that it's okay to step into that. And this moon, this full moon really has that for all of us, the permission. It's okay. And I know as I was prepping for this, the month ahead, there's a lot, like we're going into some more crazy astrology, like, but not crazy, like in the sense of bad, like just my brain can't keep all of it. There was a time where I could keep the highlights of everything and dates in my brain for the month ahead. There are so many things that happen, and I'm sure you guys are all feeling this. Nancy, I'm sure you're feeling that. It's like you have to go more to the notes. What's happening today? Oh, like 5 things are happening on this one day. It's just time is speeding up. So much is happening, and so we have more of that. We're building, and it's really exciting though. I think this month ahead, which makes me extra giddy of all the magic that's happening, and the fact that we are moving into eclipse season. No bullshit kind of month. Just kind of bullshit. Like it's cycle breaking. You're done with something. Get your ass going. Let's go. Let's go. Because we're heading towards Scorpio season too, right? So so Kim, if you're here, hello, if you're here still with us. So where shall we start? Last month, we really kind of we felt like we were dancing with a different kind of energetics for the month ahead. Maybe I'll just talk about in this moment.
Yeah.
In this moment. Because today is a really good day, even though wherever you find this replay or when you get to it, and we hope that you do, and we hope that you share it with people that if you feel as though it is helpful, please share. And know that we are trying, we've been showing up to do this every month, and we love it. It helps us, and we really hope it helps you. And this would be the point. If you like to follow and have little notes, this would be the point you get your pen and paper, and a calendar or whatever you like to use. I got like calendars, like my big calendars, and I got my notebook here. Even when Nancy goes, I'll be writing things down, and Nancy writes down things as I go, because there's just so much. So in this moment, as we record and as we are present, like I said, is the full moon. It's 6 degrees of Aries, just at the beginning of that, of the sign itself, in the maiden, the excitement of the Aries of like, hello world. Like that's like, I'm here, hello, I get to explore and what's going on. And we are here we just entered last week on Saturday into Libra season, which also marked arriving into autumn season, which also had the turn of the wheel, which was Mabon, which is like this. I'm just going to pause. Can you guys hear the kids outside walking by right now? Okay, let me just pause and close my windows, because the kids are getting out of school, and there's a lot that walk by my street here. Along with vehicles, probably telling them to share the road as they're walking down the street, if you heard that little honk by a neighbor. So we just went into, like I said, the turn of the wheel. So we've had a lot just in 6 days, 7 days. So here, this beautiful moment, we have our first full moon of this Libra season of autumn, and the beauty of Mabon, of us going into the richness more of ourselves and our lives, and the harvest of life, the beautiful and the abundance that's happening, and the asking for the balance and the harmony. So we got this beautiful full moon today, not only illuminating, saying, I'm giving you permission, get out there and shine, be yourself, and also be yourself in the best harmonious, loving way that you can in relationship to yourself and self with others, because Libra is all about balance, harmony, and relationships, along with justice and a few other things in there. but there's just a lot in this beauty of this moment. So we really hope that you guys take this time today to be here through this weekend, because this moon's shining throughout the entire weekend. The other thing that this full moon is doing, it opens up the portal to the eclipse season. So when I feel this, when I feel into the energetics of this, it's like, it's not eclipse season yet, right? Because that's still coming in a couple more weeks, like at the first eclipse, but there's this invitation and opening that we start to feel to get ready, right? And it doesn't feel like, some eclipse seasons can really feel heavier. And even though it'll be leading into Scorpio, which, can feel, it's that descent with Scorpio and Pluto energy, but we're moving into, Venus is ruling our eclipse season coming up. So there's a loving expansiveness that's coming with this opening too, and excitement of newness. So just feeling into that of newness of a new season, newness of this beautiful I am full moon, fiery energy, illuminating, giving us permission to be who we are. The Libra season saying, be in balance, be in harmony, honor yourself, honor the relationship with yourself, and get ready for this beautiful new season in October. And October is going to be an 8 energy month. When Nancy's going to go into more, but there's that 8 and that wisdom and the mastery. That's how I look at the 8. I love it's the mastery through ourselves and the balance and the harmony. So just right there. So Nancy, handing it over there to you just about the energetics as this day and moving in to the start of October. How are you feeling? What are you seeing?
So I feel like today and tomorrow are this perfect setup for Sunday being the October 1st, right? Like, so we're finishing off September with this 7 energy, which if you remember, we talked about that trust, really about trusting. So take some time today, tomorrow, and just pause and reflect back over the last month and recognize yourself for where you leaned into trust more, or where maybe you were like, oh crap, I could have there and didn't, but let that go. It's not about regrets or anything, but it's just about awareness. And then be like, okay, now stepping into this beautiful 8 energy that's starting on Sunday, and knowing that October is also going to be our preview for 2024. So 2024's energy is that 8. So think of this as that sneak peek. So getting really clear on what you want to feel. Set your intentions for October, knowing, cast your bigger vision, knowing that what you are starting to create, seeds you're planting this month, are going to carry forward with you into 2024, and you get to choose. So I really want to emphasize that, like that this is your time to make those choices. We're going to use this 8 energy in October for intention, for expansion, and for empowerment. And I could go, do you want me to talk more about the 8 right now? Or
Yeah, sure. Because we're starting. We're moving step by step. It feels like this is,
Totally.
I feel like we're doing
Exactly.
a step by step. So we'll be going back and forth as we go through this month, I think is our
Absolutely. That's what I'm feeling too. So I'm like, I don't want to get too ahead of myself if you've got something you want to jump in. But so let's just take a moment and think about the figure 8 and how it looks, how it feels to you, right? Those 2 beautiful circles coming together. So that balance of the Libra season as well, and the harmony comes in here. So if we're willing to go with the flow and just follow the 8 around, it feels so good and builds momentum and expansion. But when we get in our head and we get in our own way, which happens, it can feel a bit clunky, right? You're like, oh, it doesn't flow as much. There's those highs and those lows, and that's okay. Highs and lows are a part of our human experience, but just being willing to recognize and feel them and notice, like, oh, I'm getting a little bit stuck here. What tools can I reach for to help me get back into that flow? So the 8 really wants to invite us to find our own and partner. I love that it's with the Libra season this year, like partnering with that, find our own inner harmony and peace. Doesn't matter all the stuff going on around you, turn inwards to find that harmony and peace. It's not about what everybody else is saying is bringing you harmony and peace. So once again, that permission that we're feeling today. So really sinking into that 8, letting us flow with the rhythms of life. And also it's that the infinity, right? So infinite possibilities. So get caught up in the beauty of the 8, get swept away with that energy this month. Plus you add in all of the magic of October and the witchy things. And to me, I'm just totally psyched. So
you will notice this excitement of witchiness building within Nancy and I. Let me know if you guys feel that, if you're like one of those people that like just can't wait for October. We want to know. I want to know who my other witchy people are out there, and I'm sure Nancy does too. And in the community, let's who are you? I love how you brought up, Nancy, that importance that when we hit October every year, that is like our new cycle prepping us. It's like the end of the year, and it's starting energetically to prep us for the next year. And we also have that layering in October when we look at the sacred wheel of the year and the turning of those seasons. And we get to Samhain at the end of October on Halloween, and we consider that the witch's new year. And it's the first fire festival. It's, the wisdom that we're taking and moving into that we have gained, but that it's an embodiment, so that as we prep to go out in the world again, we're going with the new energy of our internal wisdom of what we have just traveled through. So I would invite you guys to think about to last October and what has transpired since that. Where were you? What was happening in October? And how has your journey gone? What has come in? What has left? And especially with all of these retrogrades that we've had this summer. And now Venus, lovely Venus, she's been going direct, and she's going to be moving out of that Leo season into Virgo and different energies. And she's really dancing with this eclipse season coming this month. And so there's a new understanding, a new brightness and illumination, even coming from our hearts, from ourselves, because of the journey she's gone through. And for anybody that understands Pluto, we're going to be coming into Pluto season because of Scorpio, but Pluto's going to be going direct. I'll talk about that in a bit. So when Pluto goes direct, because he's been going back and forth between, been in Capricorn so much, and those are rewiring different things and structure and society things. And so he'll go direct and then start moving towards Aquarius, because we can't wait. I can't wait till Pluto really gets into Aquarius and stays there and starts moving forward, because we're going to really notice the change and shift then. So there is a lot of shifting in that. And so that invitation to make sure when you reflect back, because this is a reflection time too, right? Because Libra is asking you not like for this bounce and harmony, but you have to know what's been out of bounds. So there's going to be those themes this month, along with that 8 energy, so you can step more fully into the mastery of that beautiful infinity and that 8 coming in, saying, what is not serving you? We hear it all the time, but there is we have to know that and see that in order to be in our bounce and harmony. And there's this eclipse season's really going to be saying, it's considered a cycle breaker, this eclipse season. It's like, what is done is done, like get going. Like I said, this is no BS kind of month too. It's like, get going and dedicate and set those intentions for where you want to improve more, where you want to strengthen yourself to bring that harmony and that balance and that I am power, and to show up as you are, who you are more strongly, especially with this illumination of this moon just kicking us off through this season. And eclipse seasons are endings and beginnings. And we, like Nancy just said, we're just getting set up really beautifully at these last 2 days of September. When I look over at my calendars and look at the numerology, we have the 9 today, which is the endings, prepping for the new beginnings, and 1 tomorrow on our last day of September, getting into that newness again. And then we switch into October, and then we go back to a 9. So this energy really wants us to make sure we're ending certain things and getting clear to move forward. Would you agree, Nancy? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. And like today, when we bring in the cardology, we have the 9 with my brain just stopped. I'm like, what are we at? And at 8 as well, right? And then we go the 1 or 8 of hearts, right? So today it's like that your feelings. Then we're going to go to the 1 and the 7 of hearts tomorrow, which is like unconditional love. So like, oh, really plant into your love for yourself and this planet and everyone around you tomorrow. And then on Sunday, it's like, okay, the 9 with the 8 of diamonds. So it's going to be more physical, right? So like we've had all this party lovey feeling and now it's like, okay, we're going to start the month off physically physically seeing what we've been feeling the last few days. So be ready for things that you want to show up in this world around you. Like that. But
yeah, things are going to show up very crystal clear, like a crystal ball. Sorry. We'll bring in some witchiness there, but there's going to be like, it's going to be so clean and clear with things of showing you and help you. So you're going to have great support coming in October, I think too, just really showing all of us like this, you're done. This is who you are. You're going to get messages. You're going to get reflections. You're going to feel it in yourself. And it'll be like, come on, girl, get going. Right. And here's your mastery. Here is what your medicine is. Okay. That's just getting us into the month. Okay. So where else do I need to go? I always like to break when I do my notes here. I break it down into those seasons. So let me give you a recap of, you've already heard me say Libra season, autumn. It's a cardinal point, meaning when sign, because we have the cardinals that happen 4 times a year. So that's when we have the equinoxes, spring and fall, and also we have winter and winter and summer solstice. Those are cardinal points. So Libra, starting new beginning creation, because that's what cardinal wants. Like that's their essence within that sign. It's masculine, it's air energy. So thoughts and energy up here, but also clean and clear and showing us what we need to be showing. It's the scales of justice, the symbol itself. Venus, of course, is ruling this lovely season with Libra. And it also rules over in Taurus, which is what we're going to be seeing with the eclipses. We're going to be in Libra and Taurus there energy, which is what Venus is in. So she's ruling a lot of that. She's showing up a lot and she's moving into a new sign here, finally out of that Leo. She's been in Leo a lot because she was in retrograde for a while. So she's getting to like, who am I? So think we are getting in our heart space. Okay, I just rewound. I undid something. I'm ready to start my new story. I'm seeing myself in a different way. It may feel uncomfortable because you undid a lot within this heart space of yourself. So there's a lot of news saying, who are you? This Venus energy, this heart space of us this month is going to be like, okay, I might feel a little scary because I'm coming out almost like a newborn baby. I'm coming out more exposed and open and vulnerable this month too, but in a more empowered way to show up and move forward. So we're going to be in this Libra season until the 23rd of October. Then we'll shift. We'll shift into Scorpio season, which will bring us Halloween and Halloween. And also the lovely energy. Maybe not everybody loves this energy, but when we shift into Scorpio season, it is ruled by Pluto. Pluto will be going retrograde, as I said, at the end of this month. And but Pluto is Lord of the underworld. Now, I know that's just divinely perfect, isn't it, for Samhain and Halloween witchy season? Yes, it is, Roberta. And so we have Lord of the underworld. We have that Phoenix energy. We have the descent. You're like, Roberta, descent. I don't want to go anywhere anymore, down. Like, but it's that deeper. We're like got so much support this time to go in and look and see and rise. Now, I'm going to add a little side note to that because I just hear it coming in. Collectively, for some people. This descent is going to be helping with the awakening and seeing, because Pluto Scorpio is about what's been hidden. And also we have that eclipse season energy that kind of does and illuminations and things like that. What's been hidden, what's been in shadows, what do we have to see and own ourselves that maybe we weren't able to or didn't want to, and that we didn't want to see and want to know from things outside of us, around us. So part of that descent in the collective field, and it all depends what part you are on your journey, there is that. And that's it's a good, I'm like, it's a good thing, because we need to keep seeing, we need to keep building, we need to see the truths, we need to come through that. And so this Scorpio energy we get to towards the end of the season through this eclipse season is going to just bring a lot more of that to the surface, and for us to honor our wisdom, our truth, our power. Okay, that just, okay. And so just to talk about a little bit of Scorpio energy, since we're going to be moving into that, we of course go into the end of the month with the wheel turning on Halloween. We say Halloween for that, which is the wheel of the year. You already heard me talk about the witch's new year part of that and that new beginning. We also consider that a third harvest energy. And you've already heard me about the descent Pluto. It's a fixed sign, it's feminine, and it's water. People feel like it's fire because there's just so much there. And we do feel that fiery phoenix energy rising in Scorpio energy, right? But it is water. It's deep, illuminating, emotional depths, water. Okay, so allow yourself to be in all of that too. Nancy, your turn.
So, sidebar, so I had written down in my notes, like October, uncovering mysteries was one thing that came through. And then an oil that came up for that was copaiba, which is the oil of unveiling. So to me, it feels so perfect for both Libra season and Scorpio. Like originally when I wrote it, I was like, oh yeah, that feels very Scorpio. But even as we've been talking about the energy in the beginning of the month, that just really felt like being able to shed those layers so that you were continuing to give yourself permission to be who you are and to go with the flow and all of that. And then just another thought, as you were describing that descent, it was interesting because for me, that felt so exciting. It felt like when you're like, you're ascending a mountain, like, so it feels like, a lot of us have been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, it feels like, and then it's like, oh wait, but now we get to have that descent. And so I felt that jump off the diving board, right into the water. Like, as you were describing it, that is what my whole body felt. And I was like, oh, we talked about the diving board of September's energy. So it's like, okay, I can let all that go now. And I can just go down and be. And so like, that didn't feel dark and scary, like, as I feel like sometimes Scorpio can get a bit of a bad rap because there's beauty down there and there is hardness and all of that. But once again, we are here having this human experience and we get to experience it all. So anyway, that was just super, I'm like excited. I'm really
I am too.
And so as we're looking at the numerology and some certain days of the month, I just really wanted to call out. So we know we've talked about like the 8-8 portal before, Lionsgate, 9-9, and I'm starting to hear people talking about 10-10, like, so whenever we get these double numbers, it's always fun to be like, oh, what's happening here? But so I was like, okay, what is the energy of October 10th? Like, out of curiosity. And it's 9 paired with the Queen of Clubs. So the Queen of Clubs is all about our intuition and being that mother of wisdom and knowledge and intuition and trusting yourself. And partnered with the 9 is asking you to release any stories that block you from trusting in your own knowing, in your own power. And so that just felt really powerful for everything else that we've been sharing about this month. So I want you guys to take note of that day.
Okay, can I pause? I just want to pause right there. On that day, there's a workshop that Nancy and I are co-doing called Witchery Hacks. And we're going to talk about energetic cleanings and bouncing and various things. So just adding that in there if you want to do a little something witchy to also help you. Okay, continue on.
Exactly. Well, and that was exactly it. I was like, damn, we picked that day without even looking at the
I
energy.
know, I was just...
So there's our, right? I realized it as I was speaking. I went, oh, wait a sec. But so anyway, and so part of that, the beauty of that is that opportunity to tune inwards and clean up your own energy so that you can hear your messages better, because there's a lot of noise, right? And so I love that, how well that's partnered. And so we obviously would love for you to join us, and also just make some space for yourself that day to get quiet and to listen. So then we follow that day on the 11th with the 1 and Jack of Clubs, which is then this invitation to just, where do you have joy in your life? What do you enjoy? Like, take some time, because I think we have a lot of preconceived notions about what is supposed to make us joyful and happy. And that might not be for each person. Things that I love doing might not be the same as Roberta. Yes, we have many things in common, but there may be other things or other people on this call. So I love to suggest that people, that they write a list of those things that make them happy, because we do often forget quick little activities that spark joy. Maybe it's pulling oracle cards for you. Maybe it's making a little witchy brew. Maybe it's going for a walk, having a shower, talking to a friend, all of those things. That's going to be a beautiful day to create a list like that, so that as you're going through the seasons that might feel hard and difficult, maybe eclipse season is going to trip you up a little, you can look back to that and be like, oh, okay, here's something that I can do to spark joy and take care of myself. So another day that is looking super fun for me is October 16th, which is a 6 energy and a 6 of clubs. So the reason that I'm calling that one out is because my sun card is a 6 of clubs. So that's all about being a vessel for higher knowledge and wisdom and being able to share it out in the world. Plus it's partnered with this 6 energy. So it's like, okay, so what wisdom is in your heart that you are wanting to share with others? You don't need to be going live or posting it on social media if that's not what you want to do. But if it is, great day to do so. But if it's not, just share it with somebody else important to you in your life. Maybe it's just telling your cat. It doesn't matter, but let it come out of you. There is this wisdom that is brewing inside of you that is really asking to be shared. So however that is comfortable for you, it's not about getting, in this instant, it's not about getting uncomfortable. There are times where for sure it's like, you got to get uncomfortable now, but this is that harmonious 6s just asking you to share your wisdom. And I do want to backtrack to the 14th, which is the new moon and the eclipse. So we have the 4 and the 8 of clubs that day. So like Roberta mentioned, like these eclipses are here to help us. They're, they want to help to illuminate, to shine, to break things up, to help you break patterns. This one has this beautiful energy supporting it of the 4, which is like the solid foundation. So no matter what's going on, know that you're solid in who you are, and everything that's going on is to help you find that foundation of self. And then partnered with the 8 of clubs, which is, it's going to be a mental energy, but partnered with the 8th energy of the month too, right? You've got this harmony. So it's allowing you to flow with things, feel all the things, and know that you are going to be okay. And then let's jump ahead just to the full moon, which is full moon and eclipse again, right? I'm pretty sure in Taurus.
Yeah, I'll recap those moons and that after that.
For sure. On the 28th. So this one is the 9 partnered with the 7 of hearts. So 7 of hearts, unconditional love, and partnered with the 9. So allowing us to release and to be able to move forward. So letting go any of those things that are blocking the energy around your heart, to be able to love yourself and others unconditionally. So just think those are some super powerful energies this month. We also have a 9 energy in every week of October, starting with Sunday. So we have it on Sunday the 1st, we have it on Tuesday the 10th, we have it on Thursday the 19th, and Saturday the 28th. So every week there's an opportunity this month for you to release and start new. So really, next evolution, right? It's not, and the release is not necessarily like everything is crumbling down. It's just letting things go with grace and ease, supported by that 8 going like that, but, just to let it go and let it flow so that you can continue to move forward in your evolution and your growth. So I love those 9s, just wanting to constantly be like, okay, here you are. Here's another opportunity to step more fully into your power. A lot of people, including myself, when I started to learn numerology, got a little bit around 9, like, which is funny because it is one of my favorite numbers. But it would be like, oh, release, oh, let go. I'm losing things. No, I'm not losing. I'm letting go so that I can receive, right? And it's like, okay. And then when you start to realize, like, all the things that make up the number 9. The number 9 is our mirror, it's our reflection, and it's such a beautiful gift. So to see it present so each week this month feels very powerful to me. Yeah.
Okay, so let's all just breathe that in. And I did notice all those 9s myself. I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of 9 energy, and we're being supported with that, breaking cycles, getting going, the ending to move into the next, part of the next year. There's so much saying hello in the eclipse seasons, endings and beginnings. I mean, it's a huge theme this month. So thank you for all that, Nancy. I'm like writing on my little notes, and I realized for my big calendar, I haven't gone to put the cardology in yet. I'm like, right, I got to add that in. What was our first day starting on? What card was it again?
On the 10th?
No, the first day of October, the 1st.
Sorry. 8 of diamonds.
Okay. 8. I heard diamonds and I was like, where are we? What? Okay. Then I can sort the rest out really quickly. I know. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I mean, Nancy's so like about these clubs and diamonds and the 7s, just taking what feels good for you with it. Nancy explains it so well, just with the energetics with them. And these single number days, I mean, that's a biorhythm day that we run from 1 to 9, 1 to 9, 1 to 9 throughout the month. And, we all have our personal days in there. Mine's at 8. So I love 8. I love the 7, 8, 9 energy. Personally, I can really feel those. Nancy, yours is a 2?
Yeah, I'm a 2.
Yeah, 2. So we all have that. And that helps us just keep a little track, but also collectively we're in it every day, all of us. So it's kind of nice to know those energetics. And Nancy, you do such a great job of putting them all together and highlighting those dates. So hopefully you guys, mark a few of those in there for you with the top notes and the energetics, how to work with them, and just play a little extra attention there to them. And I want to say, when you're talking about the 8 there a while back at the beginning, that you keep on doing and the flow, it is also reminding me of the light and dark, above and below, upper world, lower world. In the middle is us, that meeting point. And it's the here and the now, it's the middle world, the ordinary world. Now we're going to be feeling that beyond that ordinary world, veil thinning. So there's a portal in that. So there's a portal energy in that 8 this month too, along with being supported so much with the 9. Powerful month ahead, guys. So let me just recap some of them. Since we talked about those moon dates, just redoing. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. I'm going to highlight them for you. How's that? That's the word. So today we know the 29th is our full moon in Aries as we're doing this call. Then in October, October 14th is our new moon. It is also the solar eclipse that day. It's at 21 degrees Libra. So what does that mean? First of all, if you know how to read your chart, your natal birth chart, you're going to go look at where 21 degrees of Libra is. What's happening? Is there anything around there? What house are you in? It's going to give you directions about what is happening for you in that new moon energy, Libra themes, which we've talked about a lot already in this call, and also that it's a solar, so it's new moon, new intentions, new start, the darkness of the new moon, right? But it's a solar eclipse. So there's that illumination in light of the sun in our life and those things meeting. Just going to backtrack a little bit since we are here in September on this call. You're going to do the same thing today if you, or over the weekend, if you catch this, it's 6 degrees of Aries. So you go to your chart, you see where 6 degrees of Aries is, and you see what's going on there, what house and all those things, and what is bringing fire, what is illuminating you, what's happening, okay? If you want to know about more of these things, well, we will have Foundations 101 beginners astrology coming up in the next little while. Little plug. I think most of you guys that know Nancy and I, you know that we dabble in those worlds too. So the 14th, 21 degrees of Libra, 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that one, solar eclipse. It is also working with the South Node, relationships, what is not matching up. We'll be able to see that things are going to get very clear about that. Like what is not matching up within ourselves, what's old parts of us, what's not matching up with how we're doing things in certain relationships. So that Libra, new moon, illumination, solar eclipse, 14th. Then the full moon is on October 28th, 5 degrees of Taurus at 4:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was like, is that a 4 or 9 that I wrote? At 4:24 p.m. Eastern. So it's that moon eclipse. It's a partial lunar eclipse. And that partial lunar eclipse happens at the peak time on that is 4:14 p.m. if you'd like to have those things. And so Taurus, you'd be looking at 5 degrees of Taurus. Where is that in your chart? What's happening there? And that gives you more how this is personally affecting you, along with the energetics of Taurus and a full moon. And Taurus is about, it's that earthy, grounded, the bull, it's beauty and luxury and relationships and love and sensuality, energetics. It's feminine, ruled by Venus, just like Libra, the new moon is ruled by Venus. This is why I said Venus is showing up a lot in her different way, out of her eclipse, out of her shadow. And she's like going to be there with things throughout this month for us, supporting us within ourselves. So this eclipse seasons is a cycle breaker. You got to be honest and true with yourself. What isn't good for you? That's where you got to be really true and honest and look at that. What isn't good for you, what needs to go. And remember, this is the eclipse portal, opens as of today, and it will close officially over on the 13th of November. When we get over there on the new moon of Scorpio, so that energy will close then. But we're in this opening of this energy, opening of our space, opening of this 8 energy month, that middle point, as I said, that flow and that middle point opening. So where are you going to go with it? Who are you? Who are you going to choose to be? And I just want to talk a little bit about some highlights of transits that are coming up. So Mercury's moving quite quickly. No retrogrades. Yay! But moving through Libra, October 4th, like moving into Libra. And then it's also moving into Scorpio on October 21st. So there's a lot of movement there for the next month for Mercury, communication, downloads, way we receive, way we communicate, travel, those technologies, those kind of things. Venus, she will move into Virgo on October 8th. So she finally moves out of that Leo because she's been in there for a while with retrograding and everything. So she moves into that new energy of Virgo on October 8th. Pluto goes direct October 10th at 27 degrees of Capricorn. Why am I saying this? The degrees is because Pluto has been kind of doing this little dance, trying to get fully over into Aquarius to move us into a new period, a new age. And Capricorn is so much about systems and structures and everything and the mysteries and illuminations because Pluto's over there, because I talked about Pluto, that's what kind of Pluto and Scorpio energy does. So it's going to start going direct so that it will eventually go over to the Aquarius season. It will have one little backtrack again next year before it will get fully going into Aquarius. Then we could probably all breathe in a different way. But there is a direct energy moving in a new highlighted way with that. And of course, the sun, oh, sorry, let me do Mars. Mars is going into Scorpio October 11th. So what does that mean? When Mars, action, masculine, take charge, get something going, like energies can be moving in through this month with Mars moving into the sign that we're going to be moving into at the end of this month and really wanting to push what needs to be illuminated and the strength and that of all the energies of that underworld and rebirthing and that death and rebirth, right? That's also what Scorpio is about. So the masculine I hear and see is going to also be going through a transformation, getting his fiery wings to rise, and we'll have that masculine energy within us. So there's going to be a fueling of a fire. Do you feel that, Nancy? Like a fueling of it rising too. We want that masculine energy. We needed to get things going, and like the kick in the ass, keep going, fire, right? So we have that going. And of course, like I said, the sun will be going into Scorpio on the 23rd, marking when we shift the season to Scorpio. Yeah, so do you have anything before I just do a couple other little highlights?
I just wanted to share 2 more essential oils with you that I was like, all right. So cypress, for the entire month of October, cypress is the oil of motion and flow. So really supports that 8 energy. So using it in your diffuser, adding it to blends. When you are feeling stuck, get it out and just inhale it, sit with a moment, connect with the energy of the plant, and just allow it to help you find motion again. And then the other oil I wanted, no, there's 2. Sorry, 2 more I want to highlight. One was wild orange, which you guys have heard me talk about time and time again, but the oil of abundance. We are in harvest season. We're going into Canadian Thanksgiving and all the abundance around us. Like I was in the grocery store last night and I was like, oh my goodness, look at all of this bountiful fruit and vegetables. Like it was beautiful just to see, right? So appreciate that. Use wild orange to amplify all the good, all the things you want. And then the third one that just popped in was spikenard, which is a lesser known, but my favorite, the oil of gratitude. So like I said, we're moving in, we have Thanksgiving coming the weekend after next. And this oil, so if you're struggling to find things to be thankful for, which, sometimes in life does happen, bringing this one out, I like to put it on my big toe every morning. So that's why it's right here at my desk. And it just really helps me to find and express gratitude. So use that through the month. And big toe is just where I was told once upon a time and was like, okay.
That's a witchy hack.
Exactly. I feel like, I'm sure it's like a Chinese medicine meridian point type thing, but you know me, I try something, it feels good, I do it, I don't need to bother researching it, but maybe I'll look it up. But anyway, so those are the oils that I would really love to offer for you guys to support yourself in, along with copaiba that we mentioned earlier. And I'm sure I'll have other ideas as the month progresses, but and then just quickly, crystals, quartz, we kept talking about clarity. So like a clear quartz, really to help amplify that clarity. Rose quartz for your heart. We talked a lot about heart energy and opening those portals. And then obviously any of your yellow, red, orange stones, just to amplify that abundance, that fiery energy. And then any of your black stones, onyx, tourmaline, any of those to help with the grounding and protection. and all of that. There's just a quick, I'm like, I could go on forever, so I'll keep it short and simple. But
So I love that. I'm going to add a black obsidian because you're setting the black stones, the black obsidian, because I have a few sphere crystals of it. And for the oils, I also like forgive.
yes.
Forgive. It feels like a really good one for this season too. And because as we're moving so much into like who we are and being honest and clear with ourselves and what isn't working with us anymore, parts of ourselves. Remember, it's ourselves first, not out there. It's ourselves. So using forgive, and I would say Douglas fir.
Yes. Oh,
That would be my next one that I use a lot. And it just feels for this season and going to Scorpio season, I would add those as my personal two that I lean into more at this time of the year. And another plug I'm going to just do is not only do we have witchy hacks on the 10th, but Nancy herself, she's going to be creating some magical things on the 17th. Okay, 17th for this month. And definitely she's going to be talking about these different kind of crystals and probably more some of the herbs and the colors and those kind of things. And we also think of clove and cinnamon and some of those other bay leaves, rosemary. She's going to do magic. So there's those things too. And so just a couple highlights, some notes and things that I to finish up here as we're coming up to our hour. So you've already heard me say it's a cycle breaker, this one. There is no going back. We are seeking that balance within ourselves, and we're looking at what is out of balance. That's going to come very clean and clear for us this month. And so we want to set those intentions. So that 14th and that solar eclipse is set those beautiful intentions for yourself to bring yourself into that balance and harmony in a new way in the I am and moving forward. Like I said, there is that big heart energy that's coming in because of all the shifting and changing that Venus has gone through. We are also looking at those areas too, especially I heard like it's within ourselves, but also I for some reason was very much into business and that in this side, maybe it was more for why I could feel is those parts of ourselves, wherever it is, whether it's your business or not, but like areas that you might be not performing as well, that you're a little weaker in, that you need to strengthen, those are going to come up for you to go, I need to see that. I need to own that, and I need to be done with doing it that way at a lower capacity. It's time to up it and go, I'm going to put more effort and energy to balance that part of myself. So whether it's your business, personal relationships, whatever it is, but it's in those arenas for us to get moving more forward so we can really up our game. We're upping our game, upping ourselves, upping our power. No competition, not about anybody else, not about that. It's for us because we're beginning that new cycle. So that ending, that 9 that we keep on seeing numerology wise, is that part for us to see in the mirror too and go, oh. And it's also those parts that go, I'm claiming this, I'm setting my intentions, and I'm closing the door. I'm done with that. So you see the closing, the done, and then the moving forward to the new beginning. So question, like, where are you ready to move into your higher potential in yourself, in your life, whatever arena that is in? I've already talked a lot about Venus here. Heart space cracking open, and that heart space cracking open more for us in that experience with Venus and how she's been coming out in a new way is for us to let in more light, to let in more wisdom, to let in more truth, illuminations, and more divine support and messages to come in to support us. And like you said, at some point, Nancy, I wrote down here, it's to clean up your own energy to be able to hear clearly. And, we're doing that workshop there on the 10th, but it is, we need to clean up some things so we can hear ourselves and know ourselves. Okay. And so end of the month, of course, we're ending with Halloween. And the veil is going to be thinning. And we have that, we over on the southern hemisphere, it's Beltane and the veil's thinning there. And so what does this mean with the turning the wheel in a sacred cycle is we come back to our ancestors and our passed on loved ones. So there's also going to be that as we move towards the end of October, of coming home. Maybe this is a perfect time. You talked about the oils and the crystals, but it's also the perfect time to think about an altar, switching up your altar. We're in the autumn one right now, but we will move into Samhain, an altar that is honoring your ancestors, passed on loved ones. It's easier to have communication and connection and to write those love notes and talk to them. And to do anything that's witchy and magical that you really love. It's time to have fun and play too. And let more mystery in and not to be afraid of the dark. So that's what I'm going to leave with for my side of all this October stuff. How are you doing there, Nancy?
Thank you. That was beautiful recap. I'm just like sitting in it, just daydreaming of what's coming for us. I'm just really looking forward to this. And I think for me, one of the most important things you said was the play, right? I think we've all taken things so seriously lately, and allowing ourselves permission to have fun, like discovering, and to not being afraid of the dark was really important too. It's been a real thing that even like my children and I have been talking about on many different levels recently, right? And just like how, at least growing up, it was perceived, right? And now just like shattering that and being like, yes, like light and dark. We can't have light without the dark. And then you just said, know thyself. And the number of times I've seen that come up in the last few days, like in a reel or this or that. It's actually a tattoo that my husband has on his arm. And so it's just been like this constant reminder of, yes, continuing to bring it back to you, back to you, back to you, and shine your light and play this October in shining your light, whatever capacity that.
Remember magic, remember the mysteries, remember childhood fun and play, and go play in the leaves. Do like put those things in there, carve that pumpkin, dress yourself up. All those things. I mean, I know Halloween's not for everybody, but not in my world. Most people around me are like, and I know Nancy is, so I've been sending her memes. And I think the one you probably saw, Veronica probably sent it to you too, about know thyself and the different realities and dimensions that we are.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful one because I just watched that one too. And Nancy and I are constantly, and I've been sharing, wait till October 1st. You guys are going to be seeing so many posts and memes on my wall about October and Halloween, but just fun things, like silly fun things.
Totally. We've been to Spirit of Halloween 3 times already. But we just love it. Right?
Yeah. So whatever it brings, and like next month, November, it's going to have a different energetics. We'll be closing out that portal in the middle of the month with the eclipse season and more fully into that Scorpio season. So enjoy this month, because before we know, it's going to be on. So enjoy it, breathing in. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Hopefully you found it helpful. Write down some things, reflect throughout the month. That's the thing. Month is, time is going so quickly. And if we don't take a little pause into things and write down little notes and just be for a moment, it goes by and I'm like, oh, what was that all about? So I invite you to do that, to have those moments to pause and breathe deeply. And then, the moving forward of things. So thank you, Nancy, for joining me once again. And everybody else that will be here probably more on the replay, as this is a Friday afternoon. And Deborah, I see your message there, and that you had some things jump in there for you. So we love that. And if you guys have any questions or want to share anything or anything that's resonating, or anything, other messages that you know within divine messages and astrology and numerology and whatever, share them, because there's just so much more. And we give this an hour to kind of get what we know and we're seeing, but we also love to hear your medicine and magic and what you know and what you see and what you are hearing. So hopefully we'll see you guys throughout the month. And if not, we'll see you next month for our forecast. Bye for now. Enhancing.